Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto hates Kushina, but yet she loves him, part 1. Subscribe if you enjoy the video, let's start the story. Kushina's love, Naruto's hate. Hatred is something we all feel, whether it be to a person, an object, or an ideal. Uzumaki Naruto knows hatred better than anyone. His whole life he was hated, but he never showed hatred until that day, when the person he hated above all others entered his sight. Uzumaki Naruto was currently carrying the crazed cat Tora. He was severely starting to hate that stupid cat, and that was surprising. Naruto had a very short list of things that he hated. The only person who knew who Naruto hated was Sandaime, and he refused to tell anyone. All Sarutobi said was that Naruto has good reasons to hate those whom he hates. Sandaime was surprised that Naruto hated so few people with how much the village tortured and abused him, but it didn't surprise him that Naruto was beginning to hate Tora. Hell, the cat was thought to be Kyuubi's reincarnation by the villagers who didn't see Naruto as Kyuubi, same thing with most of the ninja populace minus a few jounin. Naruto and his squad, led by Kakashi, was made up of Haruno Sakura, the Kunoichi of the year, Uchiha Sasuke, the Rookie of the year, and Uzumaki Naruto, the Dope of the year. The squad had been assigned to capture Tora for the 5th time in the last 3 days. Naruto was carrying the cat through the doors, both eyes twitching at random, with tick marks appearing every 10 seconds. Ajiji-san, if I have to capture this cat one more time I swear I am going to kill it, not that anyone would mind. He said the last part under his breath as Daimyo's wife came running into the room and grabbed the cat. Oh my Tora-chan, mama is here. She began crushing the cat to her chest as it began turning a blue color. Naruto just stared at the cat in pity. Maybe I should kill the cat to put it out of its misery. I doubt that it would matter. Naruto shook that thought out of his head. He turned towards the Sandaime. He had an inexplicable urge to demand a higher rank mission, but he felt like giving the Sandaime a break. Hell, the old man was more like family rather than Hokage. Naruto looked down for a second at the thought of family. He then began to grit his teeth and clench his fist, unaware of the others watching him. Sakura was looking at the dope with concerned curiosity. I have never seen him like this. What happened to the blonde baka? She banished these thoughts and went back to staring at Sasuke, who was having similar thoughts. Sasuke stared at the clenched fist before it began to relax. What's with the dope? Doesn't matter. Sasuke then went back to brooding. Kakashi looked at his blonde student with a barely noticeable amount of grief in his eyes. I failed you, sensei, again. Kakashi went back to reading his book, hoping it would drown out his pain thoughts. Sarutobi was watching the blonde, thinking through what he was about to do. Team 7 had completed enough missions to qualify for a C rank, but he also had to deal with what he was about to do to Naruto. Maybe this isn't the best idea. Sarutobi began to think to the conversation he had last night. Flashback. Sarutobi Hiruzen was talking to a woman in the middle of a rainstorm. She had asked to meet him here for a favor. It was no problem to meet her there, the problem was the favor. Kashina, I know how badly you want this, but please, I beg you Sarutobi, I just want to make it up to him for what I did. Sarutobi shook his head. Kashina, even if I am capable of doing this it would have to be under strict terms. Even after those terms are met there is no guarantee he will listen. Kashina lowered her head. I know, but I can still try, please. I have never asked you for anything else, please just give me this one chance. Sarutobi looked at Kashina. She was absolutely pitiful. She was begging on her hands and knees in the middle of a rainstorm. She truly wanted this. Sarutobi grabbed his face and began to massage his temples. He was left with 2 choices. Do as she asks and possibly give her a chance to redeem herself, or say no and have her go into a depression. Most leaders would choose the first option in a heartbeat if they had no knowledge of the past the two held. Sai Sarutobi looked at the begging Redeed. I am getting too old for this shit. Very well Kashina, but you know the terms you have to follow in our agreement. Kashina smiled a massive smile and nodded her head. Thank you Sandaime-sama. She stood up and ran back to her home preparing for the next day. Sarutobi took out his pipe and placed a small amount of tobacco in it before lighting it up with a katen. I wonder if I made the right decision. Naruto. Sarutobi turned around and began to walk towards the Hokage tower preparing for the next day. Then flashback. Since then he has been dreading the moment he dropped the bomb on the young blonde, especially after what happened, but he couldn't pull out of the deal at the last minute. He had no other choice. A deal is a deal. Okay, Team 7 said. Team stopped what they were doing and turned towards the Hokage. I am happy to announce that you have completed the required amount of missions to qualify for a C rank. Yada, finally a C rank, time for me to finally show my awesome skills. Sarutobi watched as Naruto cheered for his team finally going on a C rank. It was now or never. Actually Naruto, you won't be going on the C rank. What? Are you serious, Ajiji? Naruto was seriously depressed that he couldn't go on a C rank with his team. Yeah, there is no way Naruto could ever be ready for a C rank, right Sasuke-kun? Sakura looked towards her crush, who was actually smirking. The dope will probably be stuck with a D rank mission he can't screw up with. Sasuke continued to smirk at the blonde's misfortune. Kakashi was trying to calm Naruto down. Now Naruto, I'm sure that the Hokage has a good reason for pulling you from the mission. Kakashi was about to continue arguing with the blonde. Yeah, he probably thinks the dead last can't handle anything above C rank. Team 7 turned around to see Inuzuka Kiba enter with his teammates and sensei. Hyuga Hinata, Abiram Shino, and his sensei Yuhi Kurenai. Naruto snarled at the Inuzuka heir. Kakashi tried to get the blonde to calm down when the door opened to reveal Shikamaru and his squad. Ugh, this is so troublesome, can't you two go one day without trying to rip each other's heads off? Naruto just did his usual face pout while Kiba just scoffed. Hinata tried to play peacemaker. And now Kiba-kun, we don't need TT to get everyone upset. Kiba just looked at his longtime friend and sighed, she always knew which buttons to push, hell they have been friends since before the academy and he had tried numerous times to get her confidence up so she can ask out Naruto. Kiba looked at the blonde, wondering how he could possibly be so clueless. Hinata-san raises valid points. Kiba, should we attempt to further instigate our comrades, it would only heighten our current amounts of stress between our groups. Everyone just looked confused until Iruka, who was looking at Naruto's file, wondering why he couldn't do the C rank with his team. Shino means that we need to be kinder to our comrades, so they in turn will be kind to you. Everyone nodded at Iruka's explanation, not noticing the stress showing in Iruka's eyes. Why can't Naruto be allowed to do a simple C rank mission? Naruto may be the dead last, but there have been worse students to come out of the academy. What are you thinking, Sarutobi? His musings were cut off by the Sandame speaking up. Actually, Naruto will have higher than a D rank mission. Everyone looked confused for a moment, but Naruto immediately was excited. Awesome, I get to do a C rank mission all by myself. Naruto began jumping around like an idiot while everyone had different reactions going through their heads. Naruto-kun, I'm so happy for you, man, lucky guy, and I have to deal with just D ranks with my pack. Oh well, at least I have good pack mates. Intriguing. Troublesome blonde. Munch, 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 wow. That blonde baka, a C rank all his own, I have got to work harder to impress Sasuke-kun. The dope, no way, he shouldn't be getting a mission all his own. That baka shouldn't get a mission all his own, Sasuke-kun should be getting that mission cha. Kakashi student, no way. I would expect Sasuke, but not Naruto. What are you up to, dad? Naruto, something tells me things are going to go bad and fast. Oh well, back to Icha you naughty girl. Iruka was looking at Sandame in shock. Sandame-sama, I understand Naruto has decent skills, but I doubt he could complete a C rank on his own. Sarutobi turned his head towards Iruka. Naruto was specially selected by the client and it's A rank. What? Sandame-sama, Naruto is just a genin, I doubt he could handle a mission of that caliber on his own. Naruto simply kept on jumping around when he heard he was going on an A rank before he stopped. Awesome, I am going on an A rank, I'll go pack. Naruto was about to run towards the door when Sarutobi stopped him. Actually Naruto, the mission is in the village. Naruto turned towards Sarutobi and walked back up. So when I meet the client Sandame-sama, Naruto decided to be respectful to the old man, not knowing what he was about to pull. Sarutobi was about to call to send the client to Sandame-sama. Everyone turned their heads to the door to see Anko Midarashi. Some girl with red hair is arguing with a drunk gasp. Everyone turned their heads to see a wide-eyed Naruto with a considerable amount of hateful fear in his eyes. It can't be her, no it can't be, Ajiji wouldn't, so that's the game you're playing. Naruto gritted his teeth and slowly turned his head towards Sarutobi, realizing what he was trying to pull again. Who is the client? Naruto asked the question with barely contained aggression and a small amount of kai being released. Everyone was startled by the new aggression held in the blonde. Sarutobi sighed before he yelled, send them in. Naruto was about to ask the question again when he heard the door open. He turned his head to see an old man enter with a bottle of sake. He looked at them in a disappointed manner, but he didn't care about that. What he cared about was the next person to enter the room. Everyone was wide-eyed at the next person who entered. The one who entered was Namikaze Kashina, widow of the Yondaime. She was the most wanted bachelorette in all of Konoha. She was also the most dangerous kunoichi in the Fire Country and most of the elemental nations. They looked to see that no one else was coming, so they assumed that this was the client, especially since she was the only person who had enough money to pay for an A rank mission. Naruto-kun, man, lucky dog, he gets to spend a long amount of time with a slamming hot retweet. Damn, how curious, man, this is so troublesome. Munch, 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 geez Naruto, you will have enough money working with her to buy Ichiraku's. That blonde dope hired by the Namikaze Kashina. Damn, what is with the dope? He was happy a moment ago, but when the red-haired woman was mentioned that baka gets to do an A rank for Namikaze Kashina, no way. Sasuke-kun should have been the one asked to do that. Cha Shenro. Oh boy, what are you doing, dad? Sandame-sama, what's with the tension I wonder? Sarutobi began to speak, Team 7 minus Naruto will be escorting Tazuna to the land of waves, and Uzumaki Naruto will be doing an A rank mission for Namikaze Kashina. Now Sarutobi was immediately shut up when he felt a massive burst of killing intent radiating from the blonde. Said blonde snapped his head toward Sarutobi, anger evident in his eyes. What the fuck Sarutobi, I made it clear years ago I want nothing to do with that woman. Sarutobi wanted to speak. Don't you interrupt me old man, I made it very clear that I am never going near her again, and here you are, assigning me a mission that I will have to be near her. I remember our agreement, Sarutobi. I doubt you have forgotten it. Everyone was confused while Kashina began to tear up. Please Naruto, Kashina was letting more tears fall with every second that passed. I will not take the mission to Sarutobi. I will do D rank missions for the rest of my life. I will hand in my shinobi license. I will kiss Sasuke again before ever, and I mean ever. He snapped his head towards Kashina, do anything for her. The killing intent slowly began to drop. Naruto then turned his head back to Sarutobi. Where are we to meet for the C rank? Sarutobi sighed before speaking. Naruto, I assigned this mission to you, you are going to. I am not doing anything for her, is there any part of that you do not seem to get? Sarutobi sighed knowing there was no convincing the blonde otherwise. Team 7 including Naruto will meet at the front gate tomorrow at noon. Dismissed. Naruto turned around and walked past the genin, all of them wondering the same thing. What could she have done to merit this amount of hatred? They watched as the blonde walked past Kashina. They watched as Kashina grabbed his shoulder. Kashina was having various thoughts run through her head. No please Naruto. I beg you don't please take the mission. She watched as Sarutobi resigned himself and pulled the mission. No please don't please, Kashina watched as Naruto walked through the genins. Do you truly hate me that much? Naruto was walking past her. I can't let it end like this. She grabbed Naruto's shoulder. General Pav. Naruto stopped in his tracks and snarled out, let go of Namikaze. She didn't let go. Naruto reached for his kunai pouch, surprising everyone but the sandame in the room. Naruto was about to grab a kunai when Kashina fell to the floor. Naruto please, I beg you. I know what I did to you was wrong and you have every right to hate me. Kashina looked at Naruto, but please my Sachi, I beg you give me one chance to redeem myself. She sobbed out the last sentence and everyone was shocked by this. Hinata was wide-eyed, Kiba was shocked beyond belief, Shino actually showed some emotion, Ino stopped talking, Choji stopped eating, Shikamaru's jaw dropped, Sasuke and Sakura were stuttering, all of them had the same thought, he's her son. Naruto looked at the begging Kashina, he closed his eyes and let out a sigh. Kashina smiled and was about to wrap her son in a hug, but she was shocked when his eyes opened to show sheer and utter hatred running through them, but she was even more shocked by what came next. Smack, she fell to the floor clutching her cheek. She then looked up into her son's hate-filled eyes as he ground his teeth together. You lost the right to call me your Sachi long ago. Naruto turned straight towards the door and kicked it open, unaware of the shocked expressions that followed him. Kashina meanwhile was sobbing to herself while she clutched her cheek. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, she kept repeating that phrase in her head as she walked out of the mission's office. Meanwhile the genins were shocked. Naruto just slapped the Namika's head and to top it all off the woman was his mother. What the hell happened? Kiba was gritting his teeth. That's his mother, damn it, a son doesn't hit their mother, especially when they are so vulnerable. Hinata was shivering. Naruto-kun, what did your mother do to you to make you hate her so much? Shino couldn't even comprehend what was going on. That was his mother, she was begging on her knees and he slapped her. Ino and Sakura had the same thought. Naruto baka why? Choji was having the same thought as his best friend, more than just troublesome. Sasuke was gritting his teeth. He still has his mother and he treats her like that bastard. No one looked to see the Sandame looking at the portrait of the Yondaime, Naruto's father. Forgive me my friend for failing your son. He went back to his paperwork. Naruto was packing up for the C rank and boy was he pissed off. Damn Ijiji, try to set me up with that woman, he knows we have a deal, so why the fuck did he try that? Naruto continued packing his materials. He had everything ready for the coming mission, now all that was required was that he waits. Naruto looked out of his broken window, it was dark out, so he decided to go to sleep. Naruto crawled into his bed unaware of the day that would come tomorrow. Next day, Naruto arrived at the front gate about an hour after they were asked to be there. As he walked up to the gates he saw that Tazuna was sitting there with Sasuke and Sakura. Damn, he really did not want to deal with those two right now. Naruto continued to walk but made sure he was away from the other two and that no one could see him. He waited another hour for his sensei to show up. After an hour Kakashi finally showed up. Oh hey guys, have any of you seen Naruto? He's usually here. Sasuke snorted in disgust at the mention of the blonde while Sakura simply shook her head. I'm right here sensei. Everyone turned around to see Naruto standing in the shadows. He walked out of the shadows with that usual grin on his face. Sasuke sneered at the blonde and walked up to him. Sasuke then grabbed Naruto by the shirt and brought him to his face. What the fuck was that stunt you pulled yesterday? You slapped your own mother, and on top of ahahaha. Sasuke immediately stopped his rant when he felt Naruto begin to grip his wrist. Surprisingly, Naruto had a strong grip, and man did it hurt. Naruto looked at Sasuke in the eyes, and he could have sworn they flashed red for a moment. Isn't it my mother who got it? He pushed Sasuke off of him and proceeded to walk past him. Sasuke was about to make a grab for Naruto when Kakashi stopped him. Sasuke, I think it would be best if you left Naruto alone. Kakashi walked back to the front of the group while Sasuke glared at Naruto's back. Alright team, let's move out. Naruto walked behind Kakashi while Sasuke and Sakura took up the rear, both staring at the blonde's back. Undisclosed location. So let me get this straight, you want me to capture one brat. And you are willing to pay twice what I normally request for a mission like this, does that cover it? Zabuza had been contacted by some person in Konoha and was currently doing business with the person. Yes, I want him alive and am willing to pay double if it becomes more complicated, then that I will triple it. Zabuza was wide-eyed at his client's request, but he smirked and was inwardly planning. But this much money I will be able to gather enough followers to take down the Mizukage. Looks like I will be Mizukage soon enough. Zabuza smirked and gave his answer. You have a deal, Namikaze-sama. Zabuza walked out of the inn where Kushina had asked that they meet. His apprentice Haku was waiting outside, petting his pet bunny. Kashina stayed in the room. As she rooted through her purse, she finally found what she was looking for. She pulled out a picture frame with a picture of Uzumaki Naruto, her son. She stroked the whisker marks on his cheeks. Sachi, she wept as she clutched the picture to her chest, crying about the son who hated her. 3 days later with Team 7. Sasuke had tried numerous times to talk to Naruto about his mother, each one proved to be utterly useless. Naruto even turned down Sakura's requests for answers. Kakashi had to get the two away from Naruto every time he was about to go nuts on them. He was currently trying to make sure Naruto didn't blow up at the currently annoying head off Sasuke. Damn it, Naruto, she is your mother, so why did you do that? Naruto glared at Sasuke. Shut up. Naruto began clutching his fists. Naruto, answer me. You slapped her and she was begging on her knees. Are you so pathetic that you have to slap a vulnerable mother? Sasuke was releasing a bit of Kai, but it was nothing compared to the built-up Kai being released by the blonde. Shut up. Naruto's pupils began to dilate and form into slits, not that anyone noticed. Oh, you say you're an orphan, yet you still have a living family. What the fuck, man, you should be hugging your mother. Crunch. Sasuke was immediately shut up by a fist careening with his nose, breaking the cartilage. Kakashi managed to catch Sasuke from falling, while Tazuna dropped his bottle of sake. Sakura ran to Sasuke and started patching up his nose. Naruto, what the hell? Sasuke just wanted to know something. Naruto glared at Sakura with a small amount of killing intent, instantly shutting her up. Quiet, Sakura, I am in no mood for your shrieking. He turned around and continued to walk up the path towards the wave. After they had patched up Sasuke's nose, Sakura stayed a good distance away from the blonde, scared of enticing his wrath. Sasuke simply glared at Naruto. Kakashi was making sure Naruto didn't go crazy. Tazuna was trying to keep himself calm. No one noticed the two ninja following them. The demon brothers, Mizu and Gozu, were watching their targets. Gado had hired their master Mamachi Zabuza. He asked that they take out the bridge builder Tazuna, while another client, Namikaze Kashina, wanted them to capture some blonde brat alive. They would only get paid if he was alive. Brother Mizu, should we strike now? Mizu looked at his brother. No, brother Gozu, we will attack when they are vulnerable. The two looked at each other, agreed. They then shined off, waiting for the time to strike. At night, Naruto was on night watch duty. He had tried to ignore Sasuke and Sakura talking about him behind his back, but with each passing second of them calling him moody. Hell, those two have no idea the shit he had to go through in life, so they had no right to judge him. He sighed as he stared at the fire. He was completely unaware of the old man watching him. Azuna had originally thought that the blonde would be afraid of his own shadow as soon as he saw them, but when he saw him slap his mother like that, he wondered just how much he knew of the blonde. He decided to talk to him to see what was up. Hey brat. Naruto looked at the man, clearly annoyed. The name is Naruto, not brat, get it right. He spoke in a clearly annoyed tone. Tazuna sighed, thinking that Naruto would be a tough nut to crack. Look, Naruto, why do you hate your mother? The air grew noticeably colder at the mention of the woman. I would thank you not to mention her around me, Tazuna-san. My life is difficult enough without remembering that wench. Tazuna cringed at the bluntness of Naruto's insult towards his own flesh and blood. Yet he also wondered how bad Naruto's life could possibly be. Hell in waves. People had it bad, and they never did what this kid did to his own mother. How bad has your life been? Naruto looked at Tazuna before he went back to poking at the fire. He remained silent for a while. Tazuna sighed in exasperation. Fine, whatever. He went back to looking at the fire. When I was 5, Tazuna looked at the blonde, finally thinking he could get something out of him. I was walking home to my rundown apartment, right in the middle of the red light district. Tazuna gasped, the red light district had to be the worst place for a 5-year-old to be. Surprisingly, the ones who lived in the red light district actually treated me nicely. Naruto chuckled as Tazuna looked at him in surprise. Can you imagine the scummiest criminals in all of Konoha, the worst of the worst, were the only ones to treat me like a human being? Tazuna was visibly shaken. I was walking home from Ijiji-san's office. He had just signed me up for the ninja academy. I wanted to join the ninja corps so badly it hurt. Naruto looked down at that point. But, as I was passing through the shinobi section, what was I thinking? He brought his knees to his chest as Tazuna began to visibly cringe a bit. A couple of Anbu normally just glared at me and were drunk off their rocker. Once they saw me they began to chase me through the streets. After a while I found myself in a dead-end alley. Naruto let a few tears fall at that point before he swallowed and continued, they tied me up and beat me to near submission, but because of a curse my own father put on me, I have no scars. They wanted to make a lasting impression on me, show the demon brat who is in charge. Tazuna was shaking at that point as Naruto began to remove his jacket and shirt. Most people think I suck at ninjutsu, and they're right, but that's only because I have to keep one on at all times. Naruto ran through a few hand seals. I spent 3 months reading through scrolls to make it. Also it couldn't be detected, dispelled, or copied. Naruto finished the hand seals, as his hand glowed blue, he then passed it over an area on his chest. The lasting mark they left on my body was incredibly painful. They had used a katen to heat up a kunai knife after they had charged it up with chakra. They carved this into my chest. But because of my curse it kept healing, so they kept carving it into my chest for what felt like hours, until one of them decided it would leave a more lasting mark by searing my flesh and then using an ice-cold kunai to carve it in. That was my 4th permanent scar. Tazuna looked at the area Naruto indicated, right in the area that looked like it had been set ablaze with a welding torch and then rapidly cooled was the kanji for murderer. Tazuna also noticed that there was another scar that ran across the kanji. I was found by the local whore. She brought me to the whorehouse where I was treated for my injuries. Many a night I was brought to the whorehouse to heal my wounds and injuries, hell, some of them even offered a little fun as I grew older. Naruto immediately grew depressed afterwards. They were the only friends and family I had. Eventually I made friends with the local bums, the criminals, hell I even made friends with a few guys that aren't supposed to be in Konoha. I helped them and all I asked was that they hide my secret. Naruto went back to poking the fire. Tazuna looked at the blonde, why do you hide them? Naruto scoffed at this, he looked at Tazuna with an emotionless gaze before answering, did he? Naruto stood up but was stopped by Tazuna. What do you mean, why do you hide it? Because of pity. Naruto turned towards the old man. I hate pity, I hate it more than I hate anything. Every time I see that pathetic look in someone's eyes it disgusts me. Pity won't heal my scars, pity won't give me back my innocence, pity won't heal what that wench did to me. I ain't much for Tazuna. Naruto glared right into Tazuna's eyes, it's never gotten me anything. Naruto walked past Tazuna, but he had to jump back as a set of needles went past his head, barely missing him. Naruto snapped his head to see 2 mist nin carrying around blowguns. Both had some sort of massive claw connected by a sharpened chain. They wore masks to conceal the lower half of their faces. Naruto snapped his head towards Tazuna, and woke the others. I'll hold them off. Naruto turned towards the 2 mist nin who were conversing amongst themselves. The blonde brat is to be taken alive, but the bridge builder must be killed. The one with 2 horns on his headband spoke. You kill the bridge builder, I will subdue the boy. The two did some odd movement with their claws before the chain separated. One ran towards Tazuna, while the other ran towards Naruto with a syringe in his hand. Naruto was confused, why did one of them have a syringe? He didn't have time to ponder this because he had to dodge a strike from the man that would have severely injured him. He ducked the man as he swept a claw at where his head would have been. Naruto ducked to feel the syringe enter his arm as the fluid began running through him. Naruto started feeling extremely drowsy as the last thing he saw was someone kicking the mist in the face. With Kakashi had tied up the 2 assailants and managed to prop Naruto up. He looked Naruto over and sighed. Naruto had been given a high dosage of tranquilizer, but why? Kakashi immediately turned his head towards Tazuna. You have a lot of explaining to do, Tazuna-san. Tazuna looked sheepish for a moment before he sighed. Alright, look, this is what's going on, insert sob story here. Kakashi scrunched his forehead, wondering what the hell was going on. As far as Tazuna's story could tell, Gato wasn't after Naruto, so why did the demon brothers work so hard to tranquilize him when they could have easily killed him? Kakashi looked to see that Naruto wouldn't be waking up for a while. He now had to make the decision on whether or not they would continue the mission or not. Well guys, what do you think? Do you want to continue the mission? Sasuke looked at his hands for a moment before he smirked. Yeah, like I'm going to let the dope rip on me for not continuing the mission. Sakura looked at Sasuke, then at Naruto. After a moment of this she answered, yes, I don't want to have the fact that we left them to die be on my conscience. Kakashi nodded and picked up Naruto. Sakura was confused for a moment. Sensei, don't you think Naruto would have an opinion on this? Kakashi's eyes smiled at Sakura. Sakura, we could be facing off against a 100s rank missing nin, and Naruto would still want to continue the mission. I don't think he would have a problem with continuing the mission if we are just going to be fighting off a few jounin. Sakura nodded in approval, while Sasuke kept glaring at Naruto. Kakashi sighed in exasperation. If Sasuke knew what his mother did to him, he would completely agree with everything Naruto did to her. Kakashi sighed at that thought and began to walk while Tazuna and his team followed. One day later, undisclosed location. How the fuck could you possibly have failed to kill the bridge builder and capture a green as a grasshopper's ass genin? The demon brothers cowered in fear of Zabuza. After Kakashi and his team left, they managed to cut the rope so they could report to their master, and boy was he pissed. Zabuza-sama, please, we managed to subdue the brat and almost got away, but we were attacked by the copy ninja Hada Kakashi of the Sharingan Eye. Zabuza raised an eyebrow at that. So it looks like things have become more complicated. He inwardly smirked. Not only could he get a bit more cash for killing the bridge builder, but he could also get a shitload more cash to capture the brat. It was a win-win situation for him. Alright, both of you will be accompanying me to capture the brat, while you two are to kill the bridge builder. Haku will assist us, after all, he does have the best aim, and he will most likely paralyze the brat unlike me who would just kill him. The two nodded, knowing that every single capture mission that they have done was only successful because of Haku. Zabuza. The three turned around to see a pudgy man wearing a crappy suit being flanked by two mediocre samurai. I asked you to kill the bridge builder, I don't remember any part of the mission to capture some genin brat. Zabuza snorted in contempt at the man. You aren't the only contractor I have, Gato, and on top of that you should probably increase the bounty on Tazuna's head, otherwise, he won't be worth my time to kill. Gato growled, but sighed. Doesn't matter, so long as that damn Tazuna is dead. Then again, this brat must be worth something. I'll have to check in on it myself. Gato inwardly smirked as he nodded his head. He left the room while Zabuza began planning how he would kill the bridge builder and capture Uzumaki Naruto, unaware that Gato was listening to his entire plan. Of Team 7, 2 days later, Team 7 had crossed the river thanks to a rower who had managed to keep out of Cat's claws. They were now walking through a forest as an odd mist began to roll in. Naruto was even more on edge. Kakashi had told him that those guys had tried to capture him, but why? He was trying to calm down when he heard something in the bushes. He immediately threw a kunai in the bushes. Sakura ran over to find a white rabbit. Naruto, you baka, look at what you did to this poor rabbit. Man, is it any wonder you are so cruel to your MPHKMH? Sakura was immediately shut up as Kakashi put a hand over her mouth. He began looking around as his eyes suddenly widened. Get down. Naruto dropped to the ground while Kakashi brought down Sakura as Sasuke brought down the client. Kakashi looked up to see a massive style guillotine. The next moment he saw a man jump on the guillotine. He had shinobi-style pants, a bunch of bandages covering up his mouth, and a set of full arm warmers. Kakashi went wide-eyed when he realized who it was. Lamachi Zabuza, ex-Kirin head of Anbu Black Ops, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, known throughout the elemental countries as the Kurigakure no Kajin. What a pleasant surprise. Kakashi got into a fighting stance as Sasuke began to stand up. Naruto had managed to avoid the sword and had gotten a kunai out. Sakura had stood up and had readied a kunai as well. Zabuza chuckled. Sharingan to Kakashi, the thief of 1,000 jutsus, single-handedly fought off the Tsuchikage when he led an attack on Konoha. I'm honored. Zabuza snapped his fingers as 3 more Kiri Nuke-nin appeared. Capture the blonde and kill the rest. The one wearing a hunter nin mask ran at the blonde while Zabuza did a backflip and grabbed his sword. He snapped his head towards Kakashi as the demon brothers ran at Sasuke and Sakura. Zabuza ripped the sword out of the tree and swung it down on Kakashi. Naruto watched as the one wearing a hunter nin mask charged at him, with one thought going through his head, what do they want with me? Naruto ducked to the side as the nuke nin threw a hail of needles at him. Naruto threw a kunai at the nin as he pulled out a kunai knife, charging at the nuke nin. The ex-Kiri nin ducked under Naruto's kunai and sent him flying over his shoulder. Naruto landed right on his back but managed to jump back up as he threw a kunai at the ninja. The ninja sidestepped the kunai and threw a hail of needles at Naruto. Naruto jumped when he saw them and managed to avoid most of them, a few however managed to get in his leg. Naruto fell to the ground clutching his leg as Kiri nin walked over to him. Naruto placed his hands in his favorite seal, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, and 12 clones appeared. They all charged at the ninja while Naruto started ripping them out of his leg. Shit, why the fuck are these guys trying to capture me? Naruto pulled out the last as the ninja destroyed the last of his clones. He jumped away as the ninja shoved a syringe into the ground where his leg used to be. Hey, why the hell are you trying so hard to capture me? The ninja looked at Naruto and threw a set of shuriken that pinned one of Naruto's sleeves. The ninja ran at Naruto and pulled out a few that Naruto barely noticed had something dripping from them. He jumped away as the ninja managed to get one into his arm. Naruto leaped away. Haku was running right at him. Naruto smirked and was about to get into a fighting stance when he realized he couldn't move his arm. He panicked and had to sidestep Haku, but ended up falling over his own feet when he started to feel numb. The ninja turned to Naruto. I see the venom is taking effect. The ninja removed his mask to reveal a very effeminate face. Naruto shouted, "Venom, what venom?" The ninja pulled out a bit of rope as he walked over to Naruto. I extracted this venom from a species of snake. They paralyze their prey and then eat them alive. A small dosage of the venom can force a human to lose all feeling in their limbs. It is useful in hunter-nin squads when they wish to capture their opponents. Luckily, it is non-lethal, so overdosing the amounts administered to a human is not a problem. The ninja was about to start tying up Naruto crack. But Naruto managed to move a limb enough to get the ninja in the side of his face. The ninja grabbed his face and looked at the blonde. Why isn't the venom working? Naruto smirked at the ninja. I have been poisoned so many times I can't even begin to tell you how many times I have to check my food. Luckily my body has a natural filter that destroys any foreign substance, and the best part is that whatever it was that was in my body, it will never affect me again. Naruto ripped out a kunai. Come on bastard, show me what you've got. The ninja pulled out a kunai and a set of as Naruto charged at him with Kakashi. Kakashi had to jump out of the way as Zabuza brought his sword down. He pulled out a kunai and threw it at Zabuza. The kunai connected with Zabuza only for him to dissolve into water. Haha, how do you like it, Kakashi? Mizubunshin is not very useful. Kakashi turned around to see that Zabuza had somehow gotten behind him and was now swinging his massive sword at him. Kakashi barely avoided the blade as he jumped over it and stood on the blade's edge. He pulled out a kunai and made a single knife thrust at Zabuza. Zabuza smirked as he used his other hand to grab Kakashi's wrist and threw him off the sword. Kakashi managed to land on his feet where he began panting. Damn, Zabuza is clearly after Naruto. What does he want with him? I can't waste any time, these guys are clearly more skilled than Sasuke, Sakura, or Naruto. Kakashi reached up to his forehead protector, causing Zabuza to smirk in anticipation. Ah, the famous Sharingan, I was wondering when you were going to bring it out. Zabuza brought his blade up, he then curled an eyebrow when he saw Kakashi reach for his kunai pouch. Do you honestly think a kunai is going to help you? He was about to charge when Kakashi began to chuckle. Oh Zabuza, whoever said I was bringing out a kunai? The hand that was right next to the kunai pouch began to glow with white chakra, causing a seal to appear on the kunai pouch. He then swept his hand over the seal, causing a white poof of smoke. Kakashi pulled his hand away from the kunai pouch to reveal a tanto, but not just any tanto, the Hakochikuritu. Zabuza was wide-eyed. Impossible, that blade was destroyed in the Third Great Ninja War. Kakashi raised his blade at eye level, pointing it at Zabuza. It has been remade. Kakashi ran at Zabuza, Sharingan spinning, and the tanto glowing with white light. But Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke was using his kunai to block their claw strikes, while Sakura was trying to use what few she knew to confuse the Nukenin. Neither of them were in the best of shape. Sasuke had gotten a small cut on his arm, but thanks to one of his kunai, he was able to bleed out most of the poison. Sakura had managed to avoid some of the blows, but the poison was beginning to affect her. Sasuke was starting to tire as well. He had barely managed to avoid being wrapped up in their chain blade, but managed to open a fairly large wound on his arm. Shit, any more of this, and I am going to die. He sidestepped one of the demon brothers as they shoved their clawed gauntlets into the ground. The other brother jumped over him and swung his claw downwards. Sasuke threw a kunai that grazed Nukenin's arm. Nukenin clutched his arm as his brother ran over to him. Brother Mizu, do you need assistance? His brother looked at him. No brother Gozu, it's merely a scratch. He looked at Sakura. He then looked at his brother. Shall we finish the wench first? His brother looked back at him. Indeed brother. The two looked at each other. Agreed. The charge at Sakura. Sasuke was too far away, so he was unable to help her. The two brothers were only a foot away from her. The one on the left shoved his claw to her head, while the other aimed for her abdomen squelch. Sakura was impaled. The two brothers were about to pull them out when the girl looked at them with glowing red eyes. She smiled a massive smile as the grass below them began to grow to insane proportions. The grass then began to wrap around their legs. The brothers immediately looked around before they flooded their systems with chakra. They watched as the thing that was in their claws turned into a log. Enraged, they ripped their claws out of the log before turning around to see a painting Sakura and a nervous Sasuke. So, a kawarimi, and just as we were about to kill the girl, how resourceful, but enough talk, come brother, take the girl, the brat is mine. His brother got into a crouched position. Of course my brother skinned them alive. The two ran forwards as Sasuke prepared a few hand seals. Pain. Kakaku no jutsu, he blew out a fireball as the two brothers used their hands in unison with each other, screaming at the same time. Sujinheki, the two suddenly stopped as a wall of water surrounded them, stopping the fireball in its tracks. Sasuke pulled out a windmill shuriken and threw it at the demon brothers, but Naruto ran at the ninja as he brought up the kunai. They clashed with their kunai. Naruto smirked as he was about to pull out another kunai when the ninja threw the three into points in his neck. Naruto dropped the kunai as he slumped to the ground. Damn it, what the fuck did you do to me? The man looked towards Naruto. I pierced some of your central nerves, the first connected to your primary movement nerves, the second connected to your primary chakra network, and the final connected to your central command system. If you didn't understand that, then I will make it clear. I shut down your movement capabilities, I shut off your ability to use your own chakra, and I also made it so in the next few seconds you will be unconscious. Thump. The man looked at Naruto as he lost consciousness, now to finish off those other pests. The man walked away unaware of the mistake he made. Mindscape. A set of red eyes looked at an unconscious Naruto. A massive smirk appeared under the glowing red orbs. Looks like my container needs my assistance. How delightful. A wave of crimson chakra flowed over the blonde as the demon smirked. You should thank your father for sealing me in a runt like you. Naruto's eyes snapped open, revealing crimson orbs. Kyuubi was in control for now. Outside, Nukenin was about to walk off to help fight Sasuke and Sakura when he felt a massive buildup of chakra, but this was no ordinary chakra. He turned around to see a crimson aura begin to surround Naruto's body. He watched as the blonde pulled himself up from the ground. He looked closer as the whisker marks on his face deepened, his nails extended and became claws. He slowly raised his head and snarled, showing massive fangs coming from his mouth. Naruto snapped his eyes open to reveal red slitted eyes. The Nukenin began to sweat and tremble as the blonde snarled at him. Naruto swung his head back and unleashed a deafening roar. Grog g g g h h h h h h. The mere sound of the roar sent a wave of raw chakra at the Nukenin and his comrades. But Kakashi was thrown back along with Zabuza as a massive wave of chakra tore through the trees and forced Zabuza's Kurigaku no jutsu to dispel. Kakashi was wide-eyed as he recognized the foul chakra. Oh god, is the nine-tailed fox loose? This is bad. Kakashi was blown back by another wave of raw chakra. Zabuza was actually trembling. No way is this any of my men, is this one of Kakashi's brats? Zabuza tried to get up but was knocked back down by another wave of chakra. But Sasuke and Sakura, the windmill shuriken that was about to hit the demon brothers, was shot away by a wave of chakra that blew the demon brothers back. The two managed to grab the ground with their massive claws. Sasuke and Sakura were thrown to the tree line. The two were shaking in fear at the foul energy, and it was coming from where they last saw Naruto. This can't be Naruto, can it? Was the thought going through both their heads. General Pav. Everyone looked in the direction they felt the dark chakra. As the mist began to clear, they were terrified at what they were seeing. Naruto was standing in a crater that was made from the raw buildup of chakra. There was a red chakra swirling around him like a tornado, and his eyes were like looking into the pits of hell themselves. Such hatred, anger, bloodlust. Naruto looked around as he saw the ninja he was fighting. He took a single step forwards as he vanished from sight. Everyone looked around. The one who found Naruto was the ninja who fought him, and he ended up getting slugged right in the face. He tumbled a few feet before Naruto crouched on all fours as he ran at the fallen ninja, snarling with every step. The demon brothers sunshine in front of the ninja, claws and chain out, ready to skewer the blonde. Contract be damned. Naruto leapt at the demon brothers with his claws outstretched. He slashed at the chain. The brothers smirked until his nails slashed right through the chain and were heading for their throats. Squelch. The ninja was terrified as he saw the two clawed hands slice right through the back of his comrades' throats, spraying blood all over the place. Naruto shoved his hands right through the demon brothers' necks as their heads were severed from his shoulders. Naruto was about to charge forwards when he was tackled to the ground by Kakashi, who pulled out a piece of paper with a complex seal on it and slapped it on Naruto's head. Naruto immediately began to calm down as he slumped to the ground. Kakashi got up to see that Zabuza and the other ninja vanished from sight. He sighed knowing that they would be back. He turned around to see that Sakura and Sasuke were staring at Naruto in fright. He looked to the knocked out blind to see that he had dissipated. Shit, he must have overloaded them with Kyuubi's chakra dam. Kakashi looked toward Sasuke and Sakura. I know you two want answers, but I don't think that now is the best time. Help me carry Naruto to Tezuna's house. The two compiled and shared one last look at the blonde. What the hell, I have never seen such severe scars. Those scars, so oh my god, you're telling me, damn. Sasuke picked up Naruto as Sakura found Tazuna hiding in the bushes. They set off towards Tazuna with questions on their mind. A few hours later with Kushina. Kashina was waiting at an inn that she had rented out to set up a rendezvous point with Zabuza. She hoped that Zabuza could take care of Kakashi. As long as she got her son back, she didn't care, she just wanted to hold him in her arms. She just wanted to tell him how much she loved him. Kashina looked at the pictures she had in front of her. One was of her husband, Namikaze Minato. She sneered in disgust as she looked at the man for what he did to their son. The other was of her son, the one who hated her. Oh, how they looked so much alike. Naruto was practically a carbon copy of his father. Those blue eyes, that spiky blonde hair, even their facial features were the same. Except for those whisker marks. Kashina chuckled to herself as she traced the whisker marks on her son's face. She suddenly began to feel butterflies in her stomach as she looked at her son, that cute face, those beautiful blue eyes that were like a hypnotic pool. She shook her head with those thoughts. What am I thinking? He is my son. I can't have thoughts like that. She decided to label her thoughts as observations. After all, she couldn't actually fall in love with her son, could she? Yes, she loved him a bit more than most mothers should, but she wasn't in love with him, right? Kashina kept stroking her son's whisker marks when she heard someone knock on the door. She turned towards the door and got a small dagger ready. The person who entered was a young woman with blonde hair. She had a nice figure. She was wearing a standard business suit. She walked into the room and sat in front of Kashina. Namikaze Kashina, I am the head secretary of Gato Shipping. My boss wishes to offer you a proposition. Kashina edged her hand closer to her dagger as she cautiously glared at the woman. What kind of proposition, may I ask? The woman sighed before answering. Gato is willing to offer to capture Uzumaki Naruto. Kashina raised an eyebrow at that. Oh really, and what does that stuck-up pig want in return? The woman cringed at the harsh tone in her voice, but straightened herself to continue. Nothing, but he is asking you to withdraw your contract with Zabuza. Kashina narrowed her eyes. Really, and what would happen should I not? The woman sighed as she answered. He says unless you withdraw the contract with Zabuza, he will not be held accountable to what happens to your son. Kashina clutched her dagger tightly. Oh really? At the woman's nod, Kashina closed her eyes. She then snapped them open as she disappeared from sight. The woman went wide-eyed as she felt a prick against her face and a wet substance went down her face. She touched her cheek to find that it was wet. She looked at her hand to find it was bloody. She began to panic until she felt something cold against her neck. She looked down to find a dagger ready to slit her throat. She turned her head to look into the eyes of Kashina. Now listen here, bitch, and listen well. I will accept Gato's proposal to capture Uzumaki Naruto, but let me tell you one thing that you will pass on to your master. She pushed the dagger closer to the woman's flesh to make her point. If there is even a scratch on my son's head because of your master, I will torture him until he begs for death, and when I finally give it to him, I will make his death as slow and painful as possible. Now get out of my sight. She threw the woman out the door as she began to run. Kashina walked back to her chair and looked back at the picture of her son, the same feeling as before welling up inside her. Soon my son, soon. She took the picture and clutched it to her chest. Tsunami was standing at the stove cooking dinner, all the while looking back at the door, praying Tazuna would come home. Her father had left over a week ago to get help from a nearby shinobi village. But she heard rumors that Gato's thugs were not the only issue he would have to face. She heard that Gato had hired shinobi. She had heard how expensive shinobi missions were and knew that even with all the money everybody had managed to scrounge up to purchase a mission with enemy shinobi as a variable, she doubted they would help them. Knock knock. Tsunami turned to the door as she heard somebody knocking. She ran to the door hoping it was her father, but before she could open the door it was kicked open. Ahhh. Tsunami was about to grab a knife when her eyes landed on who was in the doorway. The tall white-haired man that was panting from exhaustion, a pink-haired girl, a black-haired boy with an incredibly odd hairdo, and a blonde-haired child who was scarred worse than anyone she had ever seen before. Tsunami looked further back to see her father pushing past the shinobi. Sorry, but this kid needs to get inside fast so they can work on him. The shinobi quickly headed over to the couch and laid down on the couch as the white-haired man began to perform hand seals. Tsunami looked at her father. Tusan, what is going on? Azuna sighed as he grasped Tsunami's shoulder. Come in the kitchen, I will explain it there. He guided Tsunami to the kitchen while the shinobi worked on Naruto. Team 7 Pav. Kakashi finished his hand seals and a green glow came to his hands. He quickly pressed his hands to Naruto's chest and slowly began to shift them around. Sakura was about to speak, only for Sasuke to grab her arm and shake his head, indicating that it was a bad idea. Sakura reluctantly agreed and stepped back as Kakashi went about doing whatever it was he was doing. Kakashi began to sweat as he kept charging chakra into Naruto's coils. Damn, how much chakra did Naruto use in this? Damn, he watched as parts of Naruto's body began to shimmer as his scars were hidden away by the Finally, after 12 minutes, Naruto was completely covered in his. Kakashi slumped back and panted as he reached for some chakra replenishing pills. Sasuke looked between Naruto and Kakashi before he finally spoke up. Kakashi, what the hell is going on? Kakashi sighed as he sat up. Naruto had his secret, Sasuke, just as you have your own. If Naruto wants to tell you, he can. Sasuke growled and stormed out of the house, Sakura following close behind. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Tsunami stared at her father in shock. Why, you mean to that boy was beaten by Omai Kami-sama? Tsunami sat back and looked at the table. How could people be so cruel as to beat a child? Not even Gato has gone that far yet. Izuna sighed. I know how you feel, Tsunami, believe me. After hearing what that one kid went through, I was shocked. Tsunami looked at her father. If his life was that bad, then why did he remain in the village? Izuna sighed as he sat down. I wonder if Tsunami I truly do. Later, Naruto groggily opened his eyes and rubbed the sediment that had gathered on his eyelids. He threw his legs over the edge of the couch he was laying on. Cracking his neck, he groaned, damn, what hit me? Hello. Naruto snapped his head up and saw a beautiful young woman in front of him. She had on civilian clothes and had beautiful black hair. She was carrying a tray with tea and steaming bread. My name is Tsunami, your name is Naruto, right? Naruto nodded his head. Yes, how do you know me? Tsunami smiled gently as she set the tray in front of Naruto and walked around the table as she sat to his side. My father is your client. Thank you for keeping him safe. If he had died, I don't know how we could have survived. Naruto sighed as he grabbed a biscuit. I don't know what to say, as I have never, nor will I ever be in that position. He bit into the biscuit and chewed whilst Tsunami poured a cup of tea. So that Tsunami sighed and placed the teapot down. Naruto, my father, told me how you were treated in Konoha. I was just wondering, is it true? Naruto glanced at the Tsunami and looked down. The beating, the glares at the mobs, was it all true? Naruto sighed as he placed a half-eaten biscuit down. Yes, it is. He stood up and walked to the door. I will go patrol the area. I will be back later. Naruto closed the door behind him while Tsunami sighed as she looked at the floor. But Kashina sighed in annoyance as she paced, mumbling to herself, where is he? He should have been here by now. She growled as she sat down. He had better have a good excuse for making me wait this long. Kashina reached to grab a cup of tea when she heard knocking on the door of the inn. Enter. The door opened to reveal Zabuza, who was worse for wear, with Haku following close behind. Namikaze-sama, we are here to report. Kashina looked at them and then reported. Zabuza sighed as he sat down. Haku stood at his side as he looked at Kashina. Zabuza leaned forward. Alright, I will start from the beginning. You told us to capture and retrieve one Uzumaki Naruto, a blonde-haired blue-eyed genin who had whisker marks on his face, and to kill anybody that got in our way. Those Uematsu had managed to disable him with a special drug that knocked him out, but Sharingan no Kakashi, an A-rank jonin in the bingo book, managed to subdue the two of them. After they left, they came and reported to me on what had occurred with the group. Kashina nodded. Yes, go on. Zabuza sighed. After we discussed a plan where my apprentice Haku, he indicated to the one standing at his side, to subdue the target while Maizu, Gozu, and myself would keep the others busy. However, he gave Kashina a stern look. Kashina raised an eyebrow. However, Zabuza stood up. However, you failed to mention that our target was a Jinchuriki. Kashina looked at Zabuza, then grabbed a cup of tea she had set aside. Yes, but what does that have to do with anything? Zabuza released a shitload of killing intent as he shouted. That brat, which you said was a brand new genin, killed 2 B-rank Chunin ninjas in a single strike. If I had known he was a Jinchuriki, I would have. Kashina stood up and glared at him. You would have what? Killed him, maimed him, finished him off quickly. Do not forget, Zabuza, that I hired you to capture him alive. If he is killed, I will make sure you pay for it. Haku stepped between Kashina and Zabuza. How dare you threaten Zabuza-sama, you A-king. Haku silenced himself as Kashina suddenly pulled out a katana and placed it at Haku's throat. Shut your mouth, but this is between me and your master. She removed the sword from Haku's throat and placed it in her sheath. Now she looked at Zabuza. I will make this clear. I want him caught alive. If it becomes necessary to cripple him, then do so without making it a risk to his life. Just get him to me alive and not at risk of death. Zabuza was about to say, if you can accomplish this, I will give you twice what we agreed on. Zabuza's eyes widened and she was basically offering him a daimyo's fortune, the entire bank account of the Namikaze clan. Why do you want this brat so badly? Kashina turned away and walked towards the other room, but stopped and looked at Zabuza. What more reason do I need than to hold my baby in my arms? She quickly slinked into the other room, leaving a shocked Zabuza. That Jinchuriki brat is her son. No wonder she is willing to pay as much as she is offering. Zabuza turned away as a grin traced his features. Oh well, doesn't matter to me, so long as I get paid. He walked out the door with Haku close behind. At Tazuna's place 2 days later. Team 7, Tazuna, Tsunami, and a young boy, Tsunami's son, Inari, sat at the table as they ate a well-cooked meal. Naruto ate the food slowly as he had injured his hand a bit earlier that day. He had spent the last 2 days training in Taijutsu as well as chakra control. Inari looked at the shinobi and slammed his fist into the table. I can't stand you people, you walk around all happy and carefree. Geto is just going to kill you, so why do you try so hard? Naruto glanced at Inari before he looked back at his food. I tried because I don't want to end up a whiny little brat like you who can't even stand up for himself. Inari shouted, shut up, you have no idea what it is like to suffer. Playing everybody turned to see Tsunami drop her utensils and walk towards Inari. Inari, come with me now. Inari steadily stood up as the look in his mother's eyes was terrifying. He followed her into the other room where she closed the door, then smacked him across the face. Inari stood still as he felt the stinging pain run through his face as he looked at his mother, Kakashi wh what? Tsunami snapped at Inari, I can't believe how ungrateful you are, how narrow-minded you are. I know Kaiza did not raise you to be like this. Those shinobi are risking their lives to help us and you are spitting in their faces. They didn't have to help us, they could have gone right back to their village as soon as they found out that we had lied to them. If it wasn't for them, especially that boy who you so carelessly insulted, your grandfather would be dead and likely either you or I would follow soon. Inari trembled, but Kachan, it's true, Geto will kill them. Look what happened to Tusan because he opposed Geto. Tsunami shouted, so what you are saying is that we should let Geto trample all over us, degrade us, lower our morale even further, is that what you are saying? She looked at Inari with disappointment, Kaiza would be ashamed of you. She turned and walked back into the kitchen, leaving Inari to his thoughts. Next day, Team 7 walked towards the bridge, with Tazuna following close behind. Naruto kept darting his eyes around, those two were after me, what do they want? Naruto had become incredibly paranoid in the last few days. First, 2 Kiri missing nin attacked him with full intentions of capturing him, and then they were joined by 2 more ninjas that were infinitely better than he was. The only reason they had managed to escape was because he used Kyuubi's chakra, but he was pretty sure they would be back soon. They were about halfway across the unfinished bridge when they were suddenly surrounded by an incredibly thick mist. Fukuku looks like it's my lucky day. Everyone turned around to see Zabuza, and his accomplice appeared in a swirl of water. Both of my targets here are green, as a grasshopper's ass genin, and a drunken old man. Zabuza swung his sword out, easiest payday of my life. He charged forward with his accomplice following behind. Kakashi pulled out a kunai and used it to block the sword only for the blade to be cleaved in half as Kakashi jumped back in time to avoid being sliced in half. The other ninja attacked Naruto, who quickly pedaled back as Haku began to engage him in a taijutsu battle. Sasuke and Sakura were about to assist him but were stopped as a wall of ice suddenly appeared and surrounded Naruto and Haku. Haku turned towards Naruto and removed his mask. Now it's time to finish this. He charged at Naruto and smashed his fist into the blonde's face, making him spin into the wall of ice. As Naruto fell down, Haku grabbed him by his throat and smashed him back into the wall. The ice wielder pulls out a syringe. This elixir will render you unconscious, then upon your awakening, you will find you will not be able to move your arms and legs. It is my most prized creation. Haku squeezed on the syringe for good measure, showing the liquid ooze out of the tip. Naruto groggily opened his eyes as he saw the syringe coming towards him. No, I can't, I won't. Drip. Naruto's eyes fully opened where he found himself inside a sewer. Drip stood up and looked around. This way boy jumped at the sound of the dark voice. But some underlying feeling made his feet move in the direction he heard the voice. That's it, closer, come to me, come to me. Naruto continued until he was standing in front of a steel wall. Naruto slowly reached for the door handle and pushed it open, revealing a sight that was both astonishing and terrifying. In front of him was a massive set of iron bars with a piece of paper holding it completely shut. The bars looked like they had been carved out of the darkest of metals. The thing that terrified him was beyond the bars. A massive crimson fox with 9 long tails behind it was grinning at Naruto as its blood-red eyes set their gaze upon him. It's about damn time you got here, brat. Kyuubi laid down and began to speak. Now, onto business. You are currently being captured and soon to be crippled for life by an enemy. I am not certain if I will be able to remove the toxins, so I believe it will be best if you use my power now. Kyuubi shoved his yaki through the cage bars and watched as it wrapped itself around the blonde. Outside, Haku was about to place the syringe in Naruto's neck only to cough up blood as Naruto suddenly shot his arm out, claws extended, and drove it into Haku's sternum. Haku stumbled back as he dropped the syringe and looked up as the same crimson chakra began to wrap itself around Naruto, only now it began to take a physical-like form. It grew 2 large pointed ears on the top of its head and a log bubbling tail at the end. It also formed giant demonic claw shapes at the end of each limb. Naruto's eyes shot open, revealing them to be red and slitted as he swung his head back and let loose a guttural roar, Aya. He shot his arm at Haku, sending a long limb of crimson chakra that wrapped itself around the effeminate male. Naruto snarled as he began to squeeze the life out of Haku's body. The boy coughed up blood as he felt his already broken ribs crush into his lungs, and Hardy took one last look at Naruto before he felt as if his body was being ground into mush as his insides shot out between Naruto's ethereal hand. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Zabuza were staring down Geto and his thugs, who had explained that he never had any intention of paying Zabuza before he ordered his thugs to attack. Kakashi and Zabuza are about to charge and attack when they feel a massive killing intent as they hear the noticeable sound of cracking. They turn around to see the giant wall of ice Haku had constructed begin to falter as cracks were stretching across its surface. The poundings on the other side of the ice wall stopped for a moment before a massive roar was let loose as the ice was blown all over the place. Zabuza barely had any time to dodge and ended up with ice shrapnel getting lodged in different parts of his body. Out of the fog created by the explosion of ice, a figure walked through, radiating malice the likes none of them had ever seen. Kakashi's eyes widened as he saw Naruto walk out being covered by a one-tailed fox cloak. He looked across the bridge with a look reminiscent of a predator searching for his prey. Sasuke, Sakura and Tazuna were practically trembling at the feel of the killing intent as Naruto's gaze passed over them. Finally, Naruto's gaze stopped on Geto and his thugs and he let loose a howl of bloodlust and fury before he crouched on all fours and charged at the army of thugs. Geto pedaled back and shouted, "Kill him." The thugs ran forward, thinking that their numbers would be able to take the blonde down. It was the last mistake they ever made. Naruto drove his clawed hand through the throat of one thug while he used his chakra tail to smash another thug into the ground. He tore his clawed hand out of the thug's throat and buried his claws into the skull of another thug as he swung him around like a bat as he smashed the lone thug into his comrades. Geto watched at the end of the bridge as his thugs were being maimed and mutilated by the demonic blood-crazed genin. In a last-ditch effort he began to beg, "Please, don't hurt me, have mercy, I will give you anything. Money, women, anything." Naruto had snapped the neck of another thug as he stalked towards Geto, hunched over like a predator ready to pounce. He snarled out in a deep guttural voice, "Die." He thrust his arm towards Geto, Geto squelch. Naruto had buried his claws in Geto's throat as he kicked the man in the chest, sending his body spinning towards the water as the river of blood spurted from the hole in his throat. Naruto turned around and surveyed what he had done. The entire end of the bridge was covered in pools of blood and body parts. It would be impossible to distinguish if a body part went to one person or another. As the Kyuubi cloak fell, Naruto's eyes began to droop as he fell to his knees. Just before he fell face first in a pool of blood that was not his, Kakashi caught him and hoisted him over his shoulder. Sighing, as he looked at the blonde, "This is going to be a lot of paperwork. Yes, I killed Haku and Zabuza, and before all of you go and complain on how Naruto killed an entire army of thugs on his own, let me make it clear that Shukaku, a one-tailed demon, could destroy an entire village on his own, and Naruto was at one tail of chakra, so figuratively speaking, Naruto would be able to kill a whole army of untrained, undisciplined, moronic thugs, and a stupid businessman that makes Mickey Mouse look like Shaquille O'Neal. And to those of you who are upset with Tsunami slapping Inari, guess what? I am tired of reading Naruto fics, where Tsunami just lets Inari be a spoiled little brat. If he was my kid, I would make sure he doesn't end up like that. If you have a problem with it, too damn bad. My policy remains to those of you who wish to flame me have a relevant reason to flame me. Any non-relevant flames will be ignored. PM, review, or flame for legitimate reasons. I personally don't care. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.